and they don't really like me. Cause I can fuck your bitch and fuck your mom and auntie.
The definition of one-hit wonder is a group or singer that has only one hit record. Typically, after one of their earliest songs blows up, one-hit wonders find it hard to follow up with a record impressive or catchy enough to maintain that hype, which typically results in them falling off right after. So today we're going to be looking into 5 one-hit wonders and seeing what they're up to nowadays. Starting off with CJ and his hit song Whoopty. Real quick, I just want to explain my criteria.
This nigga fell off.
Wonders, which is an artist that has a hit, a song that at least went platinum, and then doesn't have a song come even close to that, like not even having a song go gold. Also, if you're new here, my name is Mattyballz. I'm going to be posting a video every Sunday at 12 p.m. CST, so if you like music, make sure to stick around and subscribe. Now let's get into it.
I always thought this nigga was ass.
CJ is a rapper who many know for his song Whoopty, and literally nothing else. People literally refer to him as CJ, parentheses Whoopty, because
Whoopty.
They don't know.
I just walked in with the brewskis.
So CJ began
I like my chicken with blue cheese.
Kid and started posting music to YouTube and SoundCloud when he was just 14 years old. He released a handful of songs over the years and saw a little buzz after he likely paid for a 6ix9ine feature for the song Pop in 2018.
So that's what I'm saying. That's my story.
That nigga always came off like a fake
Song,
Pop Smoke to me.
First song that I ever made, and I just blew up. Nah, y'all gotta do your research. I gotta do your homework. I've been doing this for years, 10 years plus. I just happened to create Whoopty, and it happened to be the song that blew up.
But other than that little bit of information, he was relatively unknown and hardly had much music out. Until, of course, he released his drill song Whoopty in July of 2020. This song was a smash hit, blowing up on YouTube and TikTok. It featured a catchy hook.
I kept hearing this fucking song too.
Used by drill legend Pop Smoke, King
Von.
Von,
This shit is mid. Y'all niggas.
The YouTube video.
Y'all niggas like anything with a fucking drill beat on it, cause this shit is mid as hell.
Shortly after the virality of this
y'all
song,
niggas eat anything up with a fucking drill beat on it.
He followed up Whoopty with the song Bop, which did alright, and then released his album Loyalty Over Royalty, which did not perform well at all when compared to his previous hit. With single after single, CJ was struggling to replicate the success he saw with Whoopty until he eventually parted ways with
Whoopty. I just walked in with the Whoopty with the brewskis.
And you know, we decided to part ways. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But I do want to clarify, a lot of people who aren't doing so hot like to rephrase being dropped by their label as parting ways or having disagreements. It's very possible that CJ was dropped. Hello Yassine even claimed that he was dropped, but I'm not sure how accurate that is. Regardless, things started going downhill for
the Warner
CJ
Brother record label was the last fucking record label you should have signed to.
He couldn't replicate his success was because he just jumped on a trend. A Reddit user explained fairly well why Whoopty blew up like it did and why he couldn't create a hit like it again. They said, Whoopty came out 2020, months after Pop Smoke died. Keeping it $1,000, after Pop Smoke died, people were desperate for another drill star. That's why that shit plus Dusty Locane's shit got millions of views quick, and that was their first songs. After Pop Smoke died, one of the most popular drill artists, there was a huge longing for more hard-hitting, aggressive drill songs, and people began trying to fill.
And that's why everybody started dicky at CJ.
I
like my chicken with blue cheese. I like the blue cheese.
Market CJ was trying to dip his toes into. It was actually his first drill song. There was also another controversy going on with CJ where many people were accusing him of being a fake gangster. I'm not going to go too much into detail about this, but a lot of people lost respect for CJ because of this.
Because like I said, I ain't want to get pigeonholed. I caught myself getting too deep into that drill shit. And I'm like, yo, I got to remember, I'm not a drill artist, bro. Like, I'm over here beefing with drill rappers and this and that about the drill music. So I'm like, yo, bro, like, what am I doing? Like, I'm sitting here, like, holding myself into this little circle. Meanwhile, there's a whole world and a whole other genre out there, you know what I'm saying, that I could be working with. So that's why I just started just doing my own thing. On
the comments of that interview with DJ Academics, people were saying things like, he basically realized he isn't about that life and he regrets riding the drill wave, and problem with rap is you can't be fake street. Once it's exposed, it's over. He's basically the Spanish Slim Jesus. Since all of this went down,
Spanish Slim Jesus.
Any music of his own since January of 2023. He hasn't posted on Instagram since then, other than a few IG stories here and there. So for now, it looks like CJ has gone MIA. He does have a very young career though, so the chance of him making a comeback is definitely possible. But with how much people just dislike him or straight up forgot about him, it's pretty unlikely.
What you know about rolling down in the deep?
Masked Wolf is an artist whose name you probably don't even recognize, but I promise you've heard his viral TikTok song, Astronaut in the Ocean, so I think that sums this up pretty well. Masked Wolf is an Australian artist who has actually been putting out music for a long time. He started playing instruments as a kid and writing songs when he was 13. However, it wasn't until 2018, when he was 27 years old, that he signed to Teamwork Records and released his first official single, Speed Racer. He quickly followed that up with the song Astronaut in the Ocean in 2019, but it didn't blow up back then. It took a handful more singles for Masked Wolf to get signed to the US-based record label Elektra Records in 2021. After signing to Elektra, he re-released Astronaut in the Ocean.
How do y'all niggas keep signing to fucking Warner?
It hit number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 and eventually went 2 times platinum. TikTok was a huge aid in this song's virality, along with pretty much every other social media platform.
You may have heard these lyrics repeated again and again and again and again and again and again and again in various places across the internet. It is a track that seemingly you can't really escape from right now.
However, one of the main reasons the song was so viral was because, in part, this song was a pretty big meme. A lot of people did like it, don't get me wrong, but there was definitely some meminess to it in the general music community. I mean, one of the top comments on the song's music video is, "I heard this song in my dreams for..."
I'm pretty sure I heard the song, but I don't even
fucking
remember
it. Playing in the background and forgot to turn off my phone. I think that emphasizes where this song gets its infamy. Hive Mind even had it in their worst songs of all time bracket, so that's gotta say something.
Song where he says, like, I rock with G-O-D, don't rock with T-H-O-T.
No.
Yeah, he said he loves God and he doesn't like thought. I don't know if those are the exact words, but he definitely spells out G-O-D and then right away spells out T-H-O-T. It's like usually God and the devil are raging inside you, but then for him it's God and thoughts.
Yeah, hey, Masked Wolf is awesome. And this song, honestly, this song's only grown on me over time.
That's fair. Yeah.
So the fact that so many people hated this song, or at least didn't take it seriously, really didn't help Masked Wolf's future career. He followed up Astronaut in the Ocean with a few singles and then his debut studio album, Astronomical. But those songs did not perform nearly as well as his hit single did. Like I've emphasized throughout this video, it's hard to live up to that success no matter who you are, but it's especially difficult when you're relatively unknown. Masked Wolf said that he was a big rap fan growing up and was really inspired by artists like Kendrick, so he wanted to be like them. But he said Astronaut in the Ocean wasn't received as seriously as a song from someone like Kendrick would be, so his label wanted him to do something different. He said his label had him going different routes, trying to recreate a hit, and it wasn't working out. So him and his label parted ways and he went independent.
You're independent now, right?
You should have stayed independent.
Does that mean that you fulfilled your contract with Elektra, or did
no, you got dropped.
Part ways amicably?
We mutually part.
Okay.
That mean he got fucking dropped.
Got you.
Yeah, it was on both sides.
That nigga got dropped.
Take that or whatever that means.
That nigga got dropped.
At the end of the day, I'm not bound to them. They are not bound to me.
The way he said it also
he got
makes
dropped
it
from
seem
the
like it's
label.
possible he was dropped, but
he was dropped. He didn't want to say it, but he got dropped, my nigga. We know the games. Come on, yo.
That is fulfilling to him. He seems fully aware of the situation he's in. He knows that Astronaut in the Ocean was a big TikTok song, and that it's important that people know him rather than just the.
If you don't do what the labels want you to do, like, bro,
CJ, his career is young, so
the label's gonna get you the fuck out of here. You don't want to. If you don't want to do shit, they gonna get you the fuck out of here. They drop all these niggas on this fucking shit.
Rapper that's best
Trinidad James got dropped too.
All Gold Everything from 2012, but by 2018 he had admitted on the No Jumper podcast that he had fallen off. Things happened pretty quick for Trinidad James.
As soon as I heard Trinidad James got dropped, I knew it was over for him.
In 2011 he started rapping. He got invited to a studio session, but didn't like the quality of the studio he was in, so he invested in a premium studio session in which he recorded his song All Gold Everything. He released it as his debut single in 2012, and it went viral. He also released his debut album Don't Be Safe, but that paled in comparison to the success of All Gold Everything. The single peaked at 36 on the Billboard Hot 100, and like many of the other songs on this list, it went platinum. And when an artist has a hit song like this,
the only artist that got dropped from their label and actually did good that I can think of in recent memory is Chief Keef.
In 2013, the song got a remix with T.I., Young Jeezy, and 2 Chainz. Also, fun fact that you probably already know or maybe didn't notice, but Bruno Mars interpolated All Gold Everything.
And that's because Chief Keef should have never been on Interscope scope in the first
career was
place.
going very well. He started collaborating with other artists like Logic, Gucci Mane, Wale, and most notably ASAP Ferg on the Work remix alongside French Montana, ASAP Rocky, and Schoolboy Q. And I guess I broke my rule here a little bit because this song also went platinum, and he did have another one go gold. Also in 2013, Trinidad James made the XXL freshman class, which was a pretty big deal at the time, although his cypher was a bit underwhelming. In 2014, he released his second project, 10-Piece Mild, with features from artists like Sci-Hi, Travis Scott, Danny Brown, Rich Homie Quan, Gucci Mane, Childish Gambino, and more. Despite the massive feature lineup, this album didn't perform super well and received mixed reviews. And afterwards,
A song with
Trinidad
Childish
didn't release
Gambino
music
and
for a
Gucci
while.
Mane on it
Around
at the
this
same
he was
time, it
dropped
might
by
sound
his
crazy.
label, which he announced in a tweet by saying, "I should tell y'all, I got dropped from my label. My album is now free. If you hear your beat or verse on it, I hope you want dap because I got no money." Which I gotta say I respect, because like we've seen other people possibly do on this list, a lot of people tend to lie when they're dropped by their label. He was also in some hot water for some comments he made about New York and had a little bit of a beef with Charlemagne, but that didn't seem to be the main reason his career began to decline. Some people thought it was, but he didn't fully agree with that take either.
Right. So when I went back and looked at that New York situation, I look at that as like, oh damn, y'all got to just see an angry black man talking this shit. And you get to learn that if you allow social media to tell your narrative, like I talked about just a second ago, or whatever, then you
But what's cool about Trinidad James' story is how he was able to turn that negative into a positive. He didn't stop releasing music, created his own label, Gold Gang Records, and also had a handful of industry connections that he was able
Trinidad
to
James is doing
He
okay,
continued
man.
releasing music with people like Offset, Lil Dicky, Young Thug, and many more. His music never got nearly as close to the success of All Gold Everything, but he was able to use his skills to make other big moves in the industry. For example, he did some writing on Bad Baby's High Bit, which was a huge song, and he also featured in Childish Gambino's screenplay, Clapping for the Wrong Reasons. He also guest starred on an episode of Full Size Run, a sneaker podcast on Complex, and he eventually began working with them regularly.
it just kind of popped up, bro. Like I did this show as a guest. And then
He can get it in other areas. He don't have to be the artist. He can just do behind the scenes shit.
Should go up there and do the show. And I was like, I don't need that money. Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking about the money. I wasn't thinking like how I need to think, which is like business.
It seemed to work out well since
Exactly.
Trinidad was a pretty big fashion guy. He's also just been posting a ton of content on YouTube outside of
Trinidad
music
James
videos,
got
so
it somewhere
really does
else.
seem like he's still having fun and keeping himself busy. And his latest music is actually pretty good. He's been tapped in with the music industry and really just seems like a cool guy having fun with his music.
All right, now Silento. Okay. All right, hold on. Silento, his shit is a little different now. This nigga was a fucking psychopath.
Silento is probably the best example of a one-hit wonder, because after creating the viral hit song and
This nigga was a
Watch
fucking
Me,
psychopath,
he fell off the
apparently.
map and later ended up in jail for murder. So Silento began his
Yeah,
career
his shit was
great,
different.
working with small producers, making music and posting it online.
His
Eventually,
situation
when he
was
a
way
junior in
different
high
from
school,
everybody
he
else
found
on
a
this
guy
list.
named Bolo, the producer, and made a song that he knew would be a hit. He started getting in contact with promotion companies and eventually signed with Capitol Records as they believed in the hit potential of this song. Capitol Records wanted to try a new campaign leveraging the
Yeah,
popularity
bro.
of songs that encourage
Dog,
the
with
listen-
this one song, this nigga had the world in the palm of his hands. He fumbled so fucking hard. My nigga, the whip and Nene. This shit was generational.
listeners to do a unique dance, which was really popular.
He
at the time.
fumbled
Then he released
that.
the song "Watch Me" with Nene. After
He
being released
fumbled
on
that.
January 6th of 2015, as I'm sure you all know,
That shit got
this
a
song
billion
and dance became
views?
the biggest thing in the world. "Watch Me" went 6 times
In the
platinum and has
world,
about
bro.
2 billion views on YouTube.
Bro.
And if you weren't there at the time, everyone was doing this dance. Even all
How
white
can you
dudes on the
fumble
music.
that?
Watch me whip.
How can you fumble that, yo? I don't understand.
Watch me.
Bro was on top of the world with this one
The song
song, yo.
remained in the top 10 of the Billboard.
He
Hot
was on
100
top of
for
the
over
world
6
with this
weeks,
one
and For
song.
a brief period of time, Silento was on top of the world, but unfortunately, it is extremely hard to live up to what Silento
Like,
did.
even if he didn't make no music after this one song, that would have been fine. Even if he was a one-hit wonder, like if he didn't have nothing else after this one song, My nigga, that would have been fine. He would have been eating off of this one song for the rest of his fucking life. That's how big this song was.
Watch Me wasn't popular because he was necessarily a good artist or because it was a good song, but because it was a fun song accompanied with a fun dance, which is nearly impossible to replicate. So Silentto's career began to decline. In 2018, he followed up with his debut album Fresh Out of High School, in which most songs didn't even crack 100,000 plays on Spotify. Understandably, Silentto had been dealing with some mental health issues during his
bro
time.
was a
He
fucking
grew up in
psychopath.
Stone Mountain, Georgia, a small town with a big drug problem. He even claimed that he was born with a bunch of drugs in his system.
I was born with weed, coke, heroin, pills, all type of drugs.
Yeah, bro, he was already fucked up, bro.
Family members talking to walls. I watched family members fight. I watched family members try to kill each other. Nobody should have to watch that.
Combine all that
He was
trauma with
fucked up.
knowing that you can never live up to the viral hit song you made, knowing that your 15 minutes of fame are over, and it makes sense why he began to spiral downward. He was actually dropped by Capitol Records before his debut album even released, once they had finished milking as much money as they could from watching.
Oh yeah, they got
merch,
that. They got their
tours,
money from that
concerts,
song.
and
They
everything
don't need that nigga no more.
At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I was 17, but I'm 20 now, and you know, the deal I had, I got it terminated. I got a release. I got away from that situation. I'm working on me a new situation right now. And yeah.
Well, he may have acted like everything was
Bro,
cool on
only
the
if this
outside,
nigga
on
got
the
the
inside,
mental
it
help,
wasn't.
yo.
He talked about his mental health issues in
He
2019
really
on
would
the
have been.
advice of his
He would have been
publicist,
different.
Chanel Hudson. She said that she noticed a decline in his mental health when he started missing important TV appearances and attributed it to how often he was traveling around the world and performing. Apparently, he even tried taking his own life after the pandemic hit, which was
Jesus
followed by an
Christ.
even further spiral downward.
Yeah,
he was put in
yeah,
jail
he
twice
wasn't-
in
he
California
was no
for
more good,
domestic
bro. He was
violence and
gone.
gun charges and was later arrested for speeding, going over 140 miles per hour.
He was
Then
gone,
Silentto
bro.
hit the lowest of lows when he caught a murder charge. In 2021, Silentto was indicted for malice murder, felony murder, aggravated assault, and the possession of a firearm while committing a felony. He was accused of killing his cousin Frederick Rooks. There is very little info on this case, and I don't think he's been sentenced yet, but in 2021 he did release an album called Bars Behind Bars, in which most songs didn't even crack 10,000 plays on Spotify.
I didn't even know he
Other
dropped.
than a leaked jail photo,
That's
there is
crazy.
no information surrounding Silentto's.
He don't even
name
look like
on
the
his
same
label. So I think
person
it's
on
safe
the
to
right
assume he's a
side,
random
bro.
track.
That don't
Please
even
let
look
me know
like
in the comments
him.
If I'm wrong about this and there's more information.
Oh my god, this fucking song was so annoying.
Because I thought it was funny, but I'm sure some of you have wondered at one point or another what happened to the guys who made the What Does the Fox Say song, so let's check it out. Also, I'm probably not going to pronounce any of their names correctly, so forgive
My
me.
nigga,
in
this
advance.
song made
So
me
this
wanna
is
go
a duo
fucking
composed
deaf.
of two Norwegian brothers, Vegard and Bard Urheim. They were always very into music, playing multiple instruments and even being in their school's choir. Under the name Ylvis, they started doing variety shows, radio shows, and a bunch of other things after high school, displaying their range of talent. After
I'm glad TikTok was not around when this song came out. Oh my fucking god, bro.
doing a few variety shows, in 2010 they did another that sold out, and they also launched a comedy talk show. After their talk show was renewed for a second season, they created a production company and continued working on their comedy talk show. And that's how their famous song The Fox came to be. Songs like The Fox and Stonehenge were made for the show or to promote the show as parody and or comedy songs along with the music videos. But they were also uploaded to YouTube and streaming services where they would eventually go viral. The Fox, or What Does the Fox Say in particular, was extremely successful, as I'm sure you have all heard it, and it has over 1 billion views on YouTube. It also peaked at number 6 on the US Billboard Hot 100
so
for 3
fucking
weeks.
annoying.
So you may be surprised to find out that the song hasn't even gone platinum. So I'm kind of breaking my rule here as it only went gold. However, I believe this song goes beyond plaques, as I think it was a generational joke song that everyone loved. They got invited onto the Ellen DeGeneres
Everyone, I
Show,
hated
Jimmy
this fucking
Fallon,
song.
The
They
Today
didn't
Show,
hear shit.
and much more. They even won a few awards for their music. But as I'm sure you may have noticed, music wasn't their sole focus, as these were 2 comedy songs from their talk show, so clearly they had it made in other avenues. They continued releasing music and even put out an album that was a collection of all of their popular songs from
That
YouTube,
shit went
but none
platinum
of their
on
songs
YouTube.
got nearly as much traction as the Fox did. On the bright side, it didn't seem like Ylvis
That shit
really
ain't go
wanted to
platinum
be
on the
huge
charts.
superstars musicians in the first place, as they had many other things they were doing.
It was a
seems
dog
they're
shit
still pretty
song. It was a
popular
meme
across
song.
the pond. For example, in 2018, they released a documentary series called Stories from Norway, where where they took big headline stories from Norway and turned them into musical documentaries. And much more recently, they started creating content for VGTV, which is Norway's largest streaming service. So it seems like the boys from Ylvis are doing great. Anyways,
they focus really wasn't even music for real.
And I was kind of curious what they were up to.
They been
was
doing other shit.
Outro for this one, so
they been had other shit going on.
Subscribe. Peace out.
Thank God they stopped making fucking music.